is time. It is time to brew your best beer.
The 2016 SJPorr Challenge is dedicated to your friend and ours, Paul Wickstein. Brought to you by Brewcraft USA, iMake, Gladfield Malting, Yakima Valley Hops, The Grain Bill, Brewers Exchange, Cake Kingdom Homebrew Supply, Hiraki Homebrew, and a special thanks to our silver sponsors.
What's up, B's and G's? SJPorr beer review time. We are this evening dipping into. I remember this code is super small on the label, so I don't have my cheaters on because I don't have any. But we got 23E-35D-59M. This is the Hamilton Pale Ale. So I'll read you what's on the label. A crisp pale ale brewed with Centennial, Citra, and Amarillo, dry hopped with Cascade, and added lemon and orange peels to give a bit more citrus tinge on the nose. We're looking at 4.2%, and this is actually brewed using London Ale, so interesting yeast, I think, for all of that. So, with no further ado, I know this one is bottle conditioned before I even pour it, so I'm going to be gentle on the pour. Hiss was really nice. I'm going to be gentle on the pour with this. Yeah, and it was smoky when I just checked it. Work it up a little bit, get a little aggressive right here, and leave that little bit at the bottom, just because. Wow. Okay. So I've used bitter orange peel in the past. The dried bitter orange peel. I'm wondering. Just says added lemon and orange peels, so I don't know if we're talking about dried bitter orange peels and then fresh lemon. But I recognize that smell. And in fact, interestingly enough, I actually used the bitter orange peel with a London Ale, which this one is, yeah. Not sure which, whether it's Yeast or White Labs, but I used the White Labs London Ale. Forget if that was a 001 or 2. One of those. Anyway, but it's interesting because the beer that I used this in, or used those two together in, was definitely a lot darker than this, more amber. But the nose was like, just like that. Just like that. It's interesting how that combo in a very different beer with very different hops, the one that I had no hops, still has a very similar smell. It's super citrusy. The lemon's coming through a little bit more now. The orange was really overpowering at first. Carbs working out really well. So this one, we kind of, I told the hub to hold on to this beer until close to the end, give it time to just kind of condition a little bit more. The brewer asked me to ask the hub, so I'm going to make sure that this beer got its equal foot with everybody else. And so a lot of folks have held on to this one, as far as I know. I haven't gone and checked them. But that lemon, it's actually got like, when it's deep, it's got like a little bit of like a lemon chamomile, like a lemon in a tea, actually, smell. the orange is starting to fade down a little bit as I work this carb up. And it's getting a little bit more tea-like, actually. So I'm gonna give this one more little poof and work some of the carb up a little. Yeah, I'm all right. Cheers, thank you. I'm gonna go in. Okay. Okay, the bitterness, well, I'm not going to say bitterness, actually. I'm interested about the lemons that you chose. I'm wondering if you, like, if it's like a Meyer lemon. To me, I've used lemon peel, like, zested, on, like, a microplane in the past, and I've used Meyer lemon and, like, just regular old, they're not navel lemon, whatever the hell the regular lemons are. And this has a very Meyer lemon character. It's a little rindy, if that's a word. It's dry towards the end, and a little pithy and rindy kind of difference, actually, between a pith and a rind, obviously, but it's kind of got that slick oil rind flavor as it right before it dries out. I'd be interested to see, and after I post all these videos and after we've scored, if you want to put down in the bottom kind of how you treated the citrus, how you treated the fruit. Because it's interesting that the fruit is actually overpowering the hops. Now, I don't know if you added the fruit in secondary or if you added it in the boil. There's a part of me that feels like it might have been secondary, and I wonder if that, like, because I'm getting really, really dry at the back end, like as soon as it finishes up, and not it's like pith, like rind, pith, dry. There's no sweetness that I kind of I want something there, a little more sweetness, to kind of really pull this through, because it's kind of it's a little bit acidic, citrus, like citric acid, kind of all the way down, and dry right at the end, and it just needs a little bit of something to carry this through. Like, it's right here on the sides of my tongue, still. And and then I'm getting I'm getting more of that lemon right at the end, like right at the end. It starts at orange and then it kind of goes through right to the end. The with that yeast, I would have expected just maybe a little bit more malt. Just a little bit more malt would probably help carry that out, and I expected that from that yeast to kind of accentuate that, but I'm not seeing that. I mean, it's a gorgeous looking beer. I think the nose smells amazing. Yeah, I mean, the nose really does smell amazing, and I think it just needs a little bit of something to carry everything through. And I think I've said this before too, with a low ABV beer, you probably can't push that enough. So maybe pull back. If you're going to keep this as a low ABV beer, then pull back the citrus. Possibly, If you use the dried bitter orange peel, I would nix that to begin with. That stuff gets really overpowering fast. If you used fresh orange, I would decide between the two, either the orange or the lemon. I don't think you need both, especially with Citra and Amarillo, and I think you had, what, Cascade in here? Yeah. I mean, with those, you kind of don't need both of the rinds, or yeah, you don't need both. I think I think if you're not gonna, sorry about that fly, if you're not gonna do it as low ABV, then you just need a little bit more sweetness. This just needs more sweetness, and I still would pull back a little bit on the citrus. But all in all, I mean, it's definitely drinkable. And on, a hot day, I'm gonna murder this. Yeah, because the nose is super inviting. So, thank you so much. Cheers. Thanks for being in the contest. Thanks for being in Beast Coast. And I'll see y'all later. Peace.
The fuck you talking about?